world's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Welcome in, beautiful people. Happy Friday to you. We have made it finally to the end of the work week and into the weekend. And whoo, boy, do we have some nice weather on tap to get out and enjoy. Not only tonight, but really across the entirety of the First Coast for both your Saturday and your Sunday. But at least let's just start with your Friday evening out there. Plenty of sunshine. We do have some high clouds rolling in. We'll kind of talk about why that is and what might be in store for some folks here across the First Coast with regards to the cloud cover and a few isolated rain chances, especially by tomorrow afternoon. But for tonight, we're staying warm, we're staying dry, and it really kind of does depend where you're at to dictate how warm did you actually get. Inland areas, many of us hit the low 80s, not necessarily the mid 80s, so not nearly as warm as we saw yesterday, but you got 82 in Keystone Heights, 82 in Jacksonville, 81 Lake City, Orange Park, Waycross. But our coastal areas, it's out toward the beaches. Now that the ocean temperatures, or really the surf temperatures, have cooled down quite a bit into the low 70s and even the upper 60s in some locations, now the air coming off the ocean is significantly cooler. So we are now going to consistently see some cooler temperatures right along that coastline there. 73 at St. Simon's Island, 75 in Mayport, 78 in St. Augustine and Brunswick currently here on this Friday afternoon and or evening, I guess, depending on maybe if you're already off of work and you're starting your Friday night early. Maybe heading out to some football games. We got playoffs taking place here across the First Coast. Sports director Chris Porter, he is going to be live at Rains High School as the Vikings host the Jaguars of West Florida High School coming to town. Kickoff at 6:30. Temperature-wise, we're going to be in the mid-70s around kickoff, cooling off into the mid-60s then by the second half and the fourth quarter of our game of the week for Sideline 2025. And, of course, Chris and everyone who is going out to shoot the highlights of the football games tonight, that's all going to be at 11:15 this evening. So tune into First Coast News, catch all the latest highlights from all the games here across the First Coast, and you can see the whole list there. Bulls, University Christian, and Impact Christian playing each other. Beachside at Ponte Vedra, that's a good one. Ed White, St. Augustine, Gainesville, traveling up to Brunswick there in Glenn County. Really just a great night for football. Don't have to be concerned about any rain. Shouldn't be too windy, no storms, nothing like that. So pretty much just a quiet Friday night out there across the First Coast. Whether you're going to football games or really any Friday evening plans you might have, you'll be in luck. Now, I mentioned those higher clouds. That is stemming from our next storm system. There's a cold front that's kind of draped across Mississippi and Alabama, Tennessee into Kentucky. You can see some rain showers moving through portions of Alabama and into western Georgia right now. Those higher clouds streaming from west to east over the First Coast right now. So that's primarily why we do have at least a little bit of some high cloud cover, but the sun still able to shine through. May that system bring us some rain? We'll get into that. We desperately need it, folks. I mean, we've now gone today making it 25 straight days without any measurable rainfall. Yesterday and the day before, we were tied for the driest stretch ever between those dates. Now we are completely holding the top spot on our own. November 2025, or really just this stretch here, 2025. October 28th to November 21st, meaning today, driest ever during that batch of dates. So we haven't seen rain since before Florida, Georgia, back on October 27th. And we're going to more than likely extend this for Jacksonville. We're talking no rain really for Jax tomorrow. We'll talk about where we'll actually see perhaps one or two straight showers, but I don't anticipate it for Jax. So that'll be 26. Sunday, no rain. That'll be day 27. And then once we get into next week, we'll have the chance for maybe one or two coastal showers. So perhaps that will bring our dry spell or this streak to an end. But folks, we could easily get to a full month on, perhaps even 30 days without any actual measurable rainfall here in Jax. Kind of hard to believe. And you look at the entirety of the year, we're now at 9.25 inch rainfall deficit. So, I mean, if you can kind of think, I mean, here's like my cup. Think about 9 inches. I mean, 9 inches of rain that we just have not gotten at all this year in Jacksonville. Things are very, very dry. Grass is starting to get a little bit crunchy if it hasn't been already. This is another great way to show it. This is our percentage of normal precipitation. You'll notice those burgundy or maroon colors. Well, that's because we haven't seen any rain. So we've seen less than 2% of what we typically see during, the last 30 days or over the past month. Now you'll notice Waycross, northern Ware County, you folks did see just a few showers. What was that, about like 3, almost 4 weeks ago? So that's why you folks aren't in the deep red with at least rainfall over the past month. But really, this is the key here, is the actual drought conditions in place. Severe to even extreme drought from Lake City, Lake Butler, up through really Sanderson and McClenny going to be included in that, up through Folkston, Nahunta, Blackshear, Waycross. The entirety of really southeastern Georgia is experiencing some pretty significant drought, and unfortunately that's just going to continue to creep further and further to the east and southeast, closer to the I-95 corridor as this just spell of dry weather continues onward. Now, who could see some rain? I mentioned perhaps inland southeast Georgia tomorrow. This is going to be it. So some showers across Alabama and Georgia right now. By tomorrow afternoon, here comes the front, making its way through Atlanta. Unfortunately for us, the vast majority of the energy, because when you get to this time of the year and you're talking about these large-scale weather systems, you really do need energy to provide uplift for the vast majority of rain and or thunderstorms. In this case, most of the energy is going to be along the warm front, which it often can be. And so most of the rain chances are going to be heading up towards the Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic states, the Virginia even. The tail end of it, the cold front, not as much energy along that, not as much moisture either. So as the front reaches us, we're going to see an increase in some cloud cover throughout the second half of your Saturday and then into Sunday. But when it comes to actual rain chances, it's not great. So we'll take it through you kind of hour by hour in a second with regards to just the future cast. But let's just kind of break down the entirety of your Saturday, because there is another part of this. Winds are going to be out of the southwest, kind of starting during the overnight tonight, and that will start to pull in some extra low-level moisture from the Gulf. So you have warm, moist air traversing over the cool Gulf waters and over the land area. It's going to provide the ingredients needed for some advection fog to develop. So I-75 corridor has a good chance to see some dense fog, patchier fog closer to Jacksonville and I-75. We've talked about this the last couple of days. Just know if you're waking up early tomorrow morning, heading out for a run, or you're traveling somewhere, there more than likely will be some fog in some locations across the First Coast. So just take it a little bit easier, take it a little bit slower out on the roads. But as we have seen nearly every single day here this week, despite some early morning fog, sun comes out, fog burns off, the atmosphere mixes up, it dissipates, and then we warm up pretty quickly into the low to mid 80s. That's where we're going to be at yet again tomorrow afternoon. We got a high of 83 degrees. That would be 1 degree shy of tying the daily record, which is 84 for tomorrow. So we'll be close to it, but I do think we'll be 1 or 2 degrees shy of that. But at least in the morning, outside of the fog, by 9 a.m., it begins to, dissipate and break up. Plenty of sunshine through the first half of your day. Then here comes the front kind of into the afternoon hours. Models are just showing, kind of just a few polka dots, essentially, of just maybe 1 or 2 stray showers, primarily across areas like Ware County, Pierce County, western Charlton County, even Brantley County, the western sides of Brantley County could see maybe just 1 or 2 stray showers, but there's not going to be a whole lot. And this is why I said Jacksonville itself has a very, very low chance. I would probably say less than 2% chance of actually seeing measurable rainfall tomorrow afternoon or evening. We'll see the clouds kind of roll in, but really not any rain. And that's often what we'll see in these scenarios. Long-range models, they'll show this big front coming in, a lot of rain with it, but really once you get closer to it, more often than not, these fronts kind of decay and weaken by the time they hit us in the I-95 corridor, and there's really not a whole lot of juice left for us here on the First Coast. So we'll kind of talk more about the weekend outlook, and of course, we're talking about good old Turkey Day and Thanksgiving next week. But first, let's take a quick break. Welcome back in, folks. We talked a little bit about the rain chances tomorrow. Pretty minimal for Jacksonville. Best chance to maybe see a shower is going to be across our inland southeast Georgia counties. We'll toss in western Camden and western Glenn counties just kind of for kicks and giggles out there. But overall, I mean, rain chance is going to be pretty low for just about all of us for your Saturday tomorrow. Looking ahead to Sunday, that front drops further southward. Any rain chances will likely be from far southern Putnam and Flagler counties southward from there. So overall, I mean, it's going to be another pretty dry day. A little bit of a northerly wind will cool us off just 1 or 2 degrees into the low 80s. But otherwise, another day full of sunshine, dry skies out there. And Monday, really not going to be all that much different. Now, you'll notice the winds out of the northeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour, coming off and over those cooler ocean waters. That will cool us off a little bit further into the upper 70s there for your Monday. So Monday will really be the coolest day that we will have seen here over the last 7 days. And there's going to be more where that came from by the end of the week and then into next weekend. So at least through today and into the weekend. High pressure is currently in place. Here comes the first front. That comes through this weekend. Not a whole lot to worry about with that. Then early next week, Monday, Tuesday, and really most of Wednesday, there's going to be high pressure off to our north and northeast. It will circulate in a little bit more of an onshore wind. And there will be something what we call an inverted trough. It'll be weak, but it's essentially just this kind of surface boundary just off our east coast that can at times produce kind of a boundary for some showers to trying to develop along. That northeast breeze can help them to move inland or to move onshore at the very least. So point being, I think 95% of us stay dry Monday, Tuesday, and most of Wednesday. But because of that little coastal trough, I think we could maybe just see 1 or 2 coastal showers just try to squeak their way on in there for some of the coastal communities and the beaches. So that's something we're going to be watching. And then really it's late Wednesday, because I mentioned, most of us are going to stay dry on Wednesday. I'm thinking daytime hours. So sunsets by 5:30. I'm thinking before 5:30, yeah, we're staying dry. After 5:30 on Wednesday evening, I know a lot of folks, they get ready to have a good time the night before Thanksgiving, perhaps heading out on the town. We could see another chance of rain. Here comes a much stronger cold front. Not going to bring us a lot with regards to rain chances. Some stray to scattered showers Wednesday night and into early Thursday morning. But this is going to bring a much more significant cool down by the end of next week and into the weekend. So what does that mean for your holiday plans? Thanksgiving, could we see rain? Yes, we could see a few scattered showers. Is it going to be 80 degrees as you're frying your turkey or you're putting, your stuffing and mashed potatoes in the oven? No, thankfully not 80 degrees. It's going to be a little bit cooler, a little bit breezier out there, and temperature is going to feel much nicer. So we'll kind of give you a closer look at exactly what the Thanksgiving forecast will be here closer to home. But first, of course, we always on your side. We want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up if you are traveling. I know myself, I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm traveling on Wednesday up to Pennsylvania to see my folks and family for the holiday next week. For those of you who are flying out on Tuesday, this system that we're tracking that will bring us to cool down by the end of next week, it is going to be bringing some showers from really the deep south up through the Tennessee and Ohio River valleys, Great Lakes region as well. So really from Minneapolis, kind of on the backside of the system, Chicago, Detroit, Nashville, Louisville, Roanoke, Virginia, D.C., New York City. All of those locations, Atlanta, even if you're driving up to Atlanta, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, all of those spots could see some rain there come Tuesday. Now, if you're flying out west, you're looking good all the way from Dallas out to Los Angeles, Denver. Plenty of sunshine there, not too hot, not too cold either way. But there will be some showers if you're traveling on Tuesday. On Wednesday, as the front is reaching us, of course, we could see some showers here. Similar story in Atlanta and Charlotte, and really the entirety of the far eastern seaboard. So pretty much up and down that I-95 corridor. You think from Boston down to New York to Philly and Baltimore, there are some chances for some showers there. You're heading further to the north. Detroit could get in on a little bit of some wraparound lake effect snow. Going to be a little bit cooler, windier up there for portions of the Great Lakes and upper Midwest. So you're going to need to make sure you pack your winter coat because you are going to need it if you're flying up there on Wednesday. So it will initially be a little bit warmer, especially like, let's say, mid-Atlantic, northeast states. I'm looking specifically for where I'm flying on Wednesday. I'm heading up to central Pennsylvania. Wednesday afternoon high is going to be in the low 60s. And then you look at actual Thanksgiving, temperatures drop a lot. High is probably going to be in the upper 40s and lower 50s. So Thanksgiving to the north is going to be significantly cooler. Similar story here in Jacksonville as well. Temperature is going to drop. But just kind of looking across the board here, I mean, you got upper 20s from Bismarck to Minneapolis. 30s for Detroit. They got that rain and snow coming in off the lakes. That'll be fun for anyone up there in the Motor City. And then, of course, New York City, you got the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. A little bit chilly for folks who are going up there. Parade temperatures more than likely going to be in the low 40s and upper 30s. Could be a little bit breezy, as it always is, especially kind of between those tall buildings in Manhattan. But with the passage of the front, folks are going to have a little bit of a stronger northwest wind out there in the Big Apple. So if you are heading up to New York City for the parade, just something else to keep in mind. But thankfully for what I would say maybe 85% of the country, really not a ton to worry about when it comes to Thanksgiving. No major snowstorms, no major storm systems bringing severe weather or anything like that. So something to be thankful for, per se, on that front. And of course, we got our very own turkey forecast, or perhaps it should be a ham forecast. I've heard some people in the newsroom say that they have ham rather than turkey on Thanksgiving. To each their own. But here locally, once that front passes, morning temperatures, especially for anyone doing a turkey trot on Thanksgiving morning, 6, 7 a.m., you're talking upper 50s for morning low temperatures, but it should be dry in the morning hours. Then by mid-morning, late morning, you're probably either just putting the turkey in the oven or you're taking it out to have it for lunch. There will be a cool breeze, winds out of the northeast, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures only warming up into the mid to upper 60s by that point. Highs on Thanksgiving Day going to be in the low 70s. There will be that chance for some stray showers out there. It's not going to be a washout by any means, but just don't be surprised if you're out in the backyard, playing some football or something like that after or before you eat, and all of a sudden, it just kind of starts raining on you a little bit. That's going to be a possibility. So we'll have a few showers around, cloudier skies, cooler, breezy. That's pretty much the name of the game for your Turkey Day on Thanksgiving next week. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll kind of wrap things up. We'll talk about Black Friday and kind of just what's to expect in the extended forecast for the rest of your holiday weekend next weekend. Welcome back in, folks. We talked a little bit about your Turkey Day. Let's just kind of wrap the whole 7-day up here for you. This weekend, inland southeast Georgia, we're talking western Charlton County, Ware, Pierce, even western Brandley County. Probably have the best chance to see some isolated showers. Otherwise, that is it. The rest of us are staying dry for both your Saturday and your Sunday. We're keeping temperatures pretty warm in the low 80s there through the rest of your weekend. Monday and Tuesday, really, we'll watch for maybe just 1 or 2 coastal showers. Monday will be the cooler of the 2 days, thanks to that northeast breeze. So temperature's going to be in the upper 70s there. Tuesday, a little bit more of a southerly wind. High's going to push back up into the low 80s, and that's where we're going to be for both your Tuesday and your Wednesday. So if you are a fan of the warmer afternoons, you are in luck. They are sticking around for at least another 5 or 6 days. Then your Thanksgiving comes along with that cold front that'll push through. That'll drop our temperatures a little bit back into the low 70s. And then check out Black Friday. I mean, morning temperature is going to be in the upper 40s, actually pretty close to where they should be for this time of the year. And highs in the afternoon. We have a 70 degrees forecasted currently for next Friday, but easily could be in the upper 60s, mid 60s for some of our coastal areas and towns out there. We'll still have the chance for a few isolated stray showers, but nothing is at least showing over the next 7 days for widespread rainfall. Now, I will mention some of the longer range stuff. So into next weekend, there have been hints or signs that we could get kind of a deepening low pressure system along the northern Gulf Coast, and that could kind of eject or propagate toward us by next Saturday and next Sunday, potentially bringing some more scattered to widespread rainfall for us. But of course, that's talking 8, 9, 10 days out in some of the longer range model runs, which, as we all should know by this point, when it comes to like hurricane season and stuff, they're not always the most reliable. A lot can change between now and then, and where that current or where that potential storm system is currently at is still even a far off the west coast of California and the Pacific Northwest. So a lot can change, but there are some signs that maybe by the last few days of November and into early December, we might get some beneficial rainfall. But overall, I mean, even if we do, many of us will see less than 1/10 of an inch of rain over the next 4 to 5 days, over the next week. I would say less than a quarter. So even if you do get a little bit of some rain and a quick shower, it's not going to be a lot, folks. So it certainly is not going to be a drought buster. Please be mindful of what you are burning, when you're burning it, what is around. I'm not 100% sure what townships or counties or communities have burn bans in place, but if those are, please heed those cautions and warnings. Be mindful of where you're throwing your cigarette butts and things like that too. Just please be very, very careful. We got dry air, very dry conditions at the surface with soil and vegetation and underbrush. It would not take much for something to ignite. And then especially